Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse The Joker, the Clown. Part of the Three Jokers batch of figures. And I'm guessing this is the one most people are going to want to get just because it's more along the lines of the classic Joker, like he's got the tails and everything and the striped pants, you know, that whole thing. So, is it any good? Well, it's about as good as the other Joker that looks like this sort of, because they are almost identical figures, and we'll get to that. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Well, yes and no for both. This guy does have a lot of nice detail work done, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's a pretty darn good figure. There's not a lot of really impressive stuff, but there are a few things that might just tickle your fancy. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 7 1/4 inches. That does include the tippity top of his hair, and that's going to make him about 18.5 centimeters. And before I say anything else, let's go ahead and do a question of the day. Which Joker is your favorite? For me, it's hands down, by far, by a mile, without a doubt, the Batman the Animated Series Joker. I think that was the quintessential Joker. That is the perfect version for my tastes. I do like the Heath Ledger Joker, though it's a totally different take on the character. I did enjoy that character a whole bunch. Okay, let's move on. Aesthetically speaking, this guy does look a lot like plastic in a lot of places. His pants are very shiny. I'll let it slide because they are suit pants and they can have a shine to them, so that is okay. Same thing with the jacket, except that some of the shininess, or some of the jacket is shiny, some of it is not. That's definitely a detraction. I don't like that everything is shiny. His shirt is shiny, his tie is shiny, the flower is shiny, basically everything but his face is shiny. His shoes are shiny, the gaiters are shiny, everything on him is shiny except for a few random spots. The elbows are the wrong color. You could let that slide as being like patched elbows. It's not supposed to be, so they shouldn't be that color. Those are the things that are problems right off the bat. Good things, however, generally speaking, he has nice proportions. I think that looks pretty good. He does look a bit hippie, but I think that's mostly because of the type of pants he's wearing, although I think popping his shoulders out just a little bit would have helped. A little bit, because his hips are a little bit wide, even for the style of clothing he's wearing. Without posing him, he looks pretty narrow. He's pear-shaped. He's got a kind of a feminine build, but it's not terrible. The really good thing about this guy, I want to say, is the head sculpt. I think it's fantastic. I like it a whole bunch. The hair is also done nicely, and they did some green shading on the hair, the light green. And then the face is reasonably well painted. It's really good for a figure at this price point. Could it be better if I was to go in and do it by hand, with tons of detail? Sure, but obviously that's not what you're going to get for 20 bucks. So that's great. The lips are clean, the teeth are painted with shading, the eyes have the nice black around them, and the pupils and the whites and everything, they're in there. It's kind of hard to tell because of the shininess of the black, but the eyes are actually in there too, and they're clean. It looks good. I'm very happy with it, and it is a really nice sculpt, so that helps. The flower is painted pretty clean. This thing's alright. It's not bad in any way other than the shininess, so I'm pretty happy about it. The lines on the pants are pretty clean. The shoe covers, the gaiters, I guess they would be called gaiters. I don't know. They're not that clean, but they're clean enough. It's gonna look fine on a shelf from an aesthetic standpoint, other than the shininess. So that's a bummer, but otherwise it's good. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 for aesthetic. It's pretty darn good. For accessories, we get the little fish, which, yeah, I mean, he can hold it, so that's fine, but that's a very specific pose that everybody's apparently going to have on their shelf because he gets the fish. And again, we get the pry bar or crowbar. This would be, I guess, a pry bar probably. I don't know if there's a difference. It has the big flat heavy duty thing on the end. Whatever. It's a little bit of a heavy duty bar for him to whack things with. That's it for accessories, other than the super awesome, most favorite accessory of all, which is the black display stand and the all but useless trading card. So, 5 out of 10. Not loving it. Trigger finger hands again. Nothing to trigger. His trigger finger hands trigger me, and that is the only time you'll ever hear me say I've been triggered, because it was a pun. Okay, I was gonna say it's funny, but puns aren't generally that funny. Okay, so accessories suck, 5 out of 10. Let's move on to the articulation. By the way, I'm just gonna put this out here. These are the same figure, other than the head and the top part of the jacket. This outer piece right here, and this outer piece right here. Otherwise, they are the same. Pieces of plastic. All the way around. So they're going to have the same articulation. If you already have that purple one, the darker one, You're going to know how this one functions mostly. The head is on a ball peg. It's pretty stiff, but it does work. You can get it to lean nicely, which is obviously good. The nuance posing is great for a character like this. Leaning the head to the side and rotating it just a little bit gives so much more style than just Marvel Legends rotation like that, or leaning it back like that. That doesn't look the same as that. So much nicer, so I like that. Although they're moving into ball pegs too, it's almost like someone's been complaining about it for a long time. Okay, so the head doesn't lean back and forward as much as I would like. This isn't the best implementation, but it is nice enough for Joker. I think you're going to be able to pose his head just fine. Shoulders, they go out horizontal. That's pretty good. You get your full rotation, no real issues there. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow is fine. We don't have as much of a gap going on underneath the elbow. They haven't hollowed out as much as they normally do, so that's pretty good. I like it. The wrists are on little ball hinges, which will give some nuance to the posing, but there's not a ton of range in there, so it could be a little bit better. Plus, they used the wrong color. They used the shirt sleeve color rather than like the glove. It should definitely be the glove color, so that's a bummer. For the torso, let's see what we get here. Ooh, it leans back, but you don't want to do that. That's not good at all. That's terrible. Let's lean forward. It doesn't lean forward. Side to side does work. You can hide that well enough that you can lean them to the side and it'll be okay. Like, that looks alright. Full rotation is good, but what the heck? Why is it so damn hard for these companies to do double ball peg torsos? Like, that's just weird. Weird. It's such a simple design, like, really. Okay, so it does lean back a little bit at the lower abdomen, lean forward just a little bit, side to side a little bit, and you get your rotation, so that's fine. His diaper is mostly hollow, so you would think you'd get tons of range out of it, but it doesn't go anywhere. That's a bummer. Bring the leg forward. The hollow diaper does squish, so you can bring the leg up pretty far, and it doesn't look bad, honestly. Like, that's alright. He can kick pretty far. It does go back if you wanted to. It looks less good there, but it functions. Bring the hips out to the side. We do get the squishing diaper again, and the weird dangly bit. We probably don't want that, but it's okay. The hips, even though they're the crappy design, they're not as loose as some of the other figures we've seen, so they're not bad. Like, this is not a bad overall release. There's almost no thigh swivel, though. That sucks. Double jointed knees do work. That's pretty good. No issues there. And then ankles are on ball hinges. You get a little bit of a backward motion there. And that's about it. You get the two positions, really. So posing him's going to kind of suck. Toe joint is too far back and very floppy. That's not good. You can rotate it around for a little bit of an ankle rocker, but not much. So, yeah, some of his articulation is functionally or technically made better, but it doesn't work all that well. His torso is not great. His ankles are pretty bad. His hips are decent. Arms are okay. It's average. It's average for them. 7 out of 10 for McFarlane for the articulation. Why the torsos don't work is still beyond me. I don't get it. That's very strange. But it is an overall good-looking figure. Accessories are lacking. Articulation's average. I think for Joker, aesthetics matter most. If it wasn't shiny, I'd say it looked really good. Even if it is shiny, well, I already rated it, so you know how I feel about that. So I'm going to give it an overall rating of 7 to 8 out of 10. You can pick which one you want. If you really like the way it looks, then you can give it an 8. That's fair. If you don't, the lack of accessories and somewhat dysfunctional articulation, non-functional articulation, that definitely pulls it back. So you can pick 7 or 8. It's a choose your own rating day. So not a bad release, though. I like the head sculpt a lot, and that really gives it a lot of bonus points. So that's my thought. You can tell me how you feel about it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I do have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel just waiting for you. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.